In this period of unparalleled political apathy, white supremacist violence, mass anxiety, disease, cognitive dissonance, climate catastrophe, ever-increasing plutocratic capitalist exploitation, recognition, solidarity, and recommitments to building powerful organizations, that is incredibly important. Perhaps paramount to saving ourselves and planet long enough to transform our material conditions and the conditions of our collective humanity. We face existential challenges, and in response, we are to construct as much as we deconstruct. Today, I want to spend a moment reflecting on the need for organizations. I often recall the words of Kwame Ture that have pronounced utility today. Mobilization is temporary. Organization is eternal. The setbacks that we've seen that progressive movements have experienced throughout 2020 to now to 2022 in the US and in New York City are not solely on the narrative and ideological front. It represents a period of profound missed organizing opportunities. Increasingly, I argue that among leftist activists and organizers, there is, albeit often from legitimate reasons, a general mistrust of organizations and the need and importance, or misunderstanding of the need and importance of building, joining, funding, and expanding them. This is especially true for organizations that are nonprofits, recognized by the government, and are often subject to critiques about their alleged complacency within the nonprofit industrial complex. However, it is important that we all remember that all social movements are undergirded by community-based, power-building organizations. For instance, 2020's general call to defund the police was generated and supported by the Movement for Black Lives, a national coalition of Black-led community-based political organizations, for instance. And it's important that we remember also that organizations are often rendered invisible to the role that they play in seizing particular moments of social unrest and focusing and directing that animus in useful ways. But more critically, it is imperative that to move individuals and communities from these flashpoints of outrage into consistent engagement in politics beyond voting. If we want to be able to defund the police, for instance, and fund our communities to build abolitionist socialist futures, we have to build the organizations that are going to help transform the people who will build and wage the revolutionary movements that transform the world. They must be sustained, and that leadership must be created, cultivated, and developed. Social movements are what changed the world, not organizations, not individual leaders. It's social movements. And social movements are waged by human beings. And a social movement cannot be waged by human beings if they are all dead. So we have to build the kinds of issue-based campaigns that alleviate immediate suffering. We have to keep people alive. And if we want to transform people, we want to use our issue-based campaigns that perhaps may be reformist to some degree as a vehicle to do the deep political education, the deep human craft work to generate the kinds of people that say, you know what, a housing voucher is not enough. The market should not be a source of determining my ability to remain stably housed. You want people to develop their critical consciousness, they're anti-capitalist by their own means, to come to that decision themselves. It cannot be told, it has to be developed. What it means is that there's something about what it means to be human is the ability to be one thing at one point and then become another thing. And that's what I believe the revolutionary socialist movement does. Yeah. It's what I believe that it is calling of us to do in the work that we're doing. Our movements are calling us to do that. And I believe that there are opportunities, there are moments that arise in our wider collective experience where metanoia is important. And we just experienced one with COVID-19. We learned that in 2019 and 2020, that no matter what, if I wore my mask and if you did not wear your mask, it didn't matter. If I took my medication and you didn't take the medication, it wouldn't matter. It meant that we had to take care of each other. So I want to invoke Arundhati Roy, leftist writer from India, who wrote in March 2020 that perhaps COVID-19 is a portal. And we're being asked, are we to drag the carcasses of our racism, of our violence, of our caste systems, of patriarchy into this new world? Or will we drop those things behind and step through and do something new? And I think that's what I love about the Better World Awards. That's what I love about the Communist Party of the USA. That's what I love about revolutionary socialist movements, is that we are asking ourselves constantly, and organizers, like who we heard from before, they are generating little portals all the time, little opportunities for metanoia to happen for individuals so that we can transform this world. And honestly, we have no choice. And I think what is different from us, with us and our generations today, and a couple next to come, than ever before, it was said in the beginning of this award ceremony that the clock is ticking. We have the unimaginable violent climate crisis that is only promised to get worse. And we have the specter of nuclear catastrophe. And I think that the only way that we're going to be able to truly respond to that is if we become anti-capitalist, if we become anti-racist, if we are able to build the kind of organizing infrastructure to transform the way that people engage in work, and to build the kind of movement that's going to save us. Because we need to change. And I believe, because we're in this space, that it is possible. So thank you so much. I am so honored to